Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video. So today we are back in Subnautica Experimental, and today I'm going to be going through with you guys everything that they've done to the experimental build since I did my last video. So if you guys have not seen that, go check it out first before you come and watch this video. But we're going to be going through absolutely everything that they've done since I made that video. They've been a little bit crazy and they've released a lot of updates since I made that video. They've added a lot of stuff and changed a lot of things. So we are going to be going through that in this video, and I'm going to be going through and scanning everything for you guys to show you guys what's been going on with the prison and with absolutely everything else in Subnautica. So let's begin. So the first thing is that the Precursor prison has been implemented. There still isn't an official way to enter. I just used a code to unlock the door. So obviously it's not meant to be accessed at the moment, but if you use the code you can make your way in, and like I said before, as soon as you make your way in, here is what you are greeted with. Here's the relics that I told you guys about in the previous video. I told you as soon as you walked up here you'd see them on the left and right, and then obviously the aquarium was down there. But now this has all been sculpted out and added. We have got 7 rooms altogether. We've got 3 at either side, and then we've got a room up there. So we're going to be taking a look at everything. All these relics are now scannable. We can scan each relic, so I'll be going through with you guys in that detail. And we've also got a terminal there and the access to the aquarium up there. We'll be taking a look at that a little bit later on, but for now we've got so many goodies in this room that we'll be taking a look at. So let's begin. So here on the left side we do have the 3 different rooms, and if we make our way into the first room, it is a little bit laggy in certain areas. If I look this way it lags quite a lot, and this way doesn't. It's nice and smooth, and then it lags again, so I do apologise about that. Obviously it is experimental, so just bear with it. But we do have an empty room. I presume that this is going to be where a teleporter is added. Could be wrong, but it looks big enough to where a teleporter would be, a receiver or a sender teleporter. Who knows? Not quite sure, but this is the first room. And here we have the second room, completely different in design, and this one is the pipe room. Now originally when the prison was first added, because there's been a few updates since then, it was just a very small little room with a few pipes and things like that, but as you guys can see it has been completely sculpted out now. There'll still be changes and lighting effects and things like that, and it's by no means finished, but we do have the basic pipe room, so I thought it was really cool. Obviously, like I said, there's certain things like that back there that needs fixing, and they're definitely not going to keep the pipe textures. I can guarantee you guys that. So let's take a look at this data terminal and see what it says. So, alien pump. This machinery is pumping water to and from the attached pipe network. Outflow. Oxygen-deprived water is being flooded from the system. Inflow. Analysis of the water composition flowing in indicates it is being drawn from different biomes between here and the surface of the planet. The water temperature is considerably lower than the volcanic environment outside the facility, and oxygen rich. So basically the pipe system is taking out water in the aquarium that's got no oxygen in it and pumping oxygen rich water into the aquarium for the Sea Emperor. Obviously they believe the Sea Emperor is dead by now, but when it was in its prime, this facility, oh, that's an interesting lighting glitch there. In its prime, the Sea Emperor was obviously being pumped oxygen-rich water from different biomes, not just the volcanic environment outside. So this is down below of the pipe network. Nothing down here at the moment. Like I said, they will be changing a lot of this stuff, so don't worry about it. And I imagine that they'll probably add some tanks or maybe another data terminal down here, or some sort of control panel. Who knows? Not quite sure, but like I said, there's nothing really down there at the moment. So that is the second room. Here we have the third room. It is pretty much a mirror opposite of the first room. Obviously, you're just walking up the opposite side, but this room does contain a teleporter. Like I said, the first room didn't. So like I said, I imagine that they'll be adding them to maybe a biome that's not implemented yet. I'm not quite sure. So there's probably definitely going to be a teleporter in the first room, but this one is an active teleporter. You do need a fuel crystal or an ion cell, or whatever it's called, to activate it. I can scan it, but it's not going to say anything. It's just because I've not scanned it before. But it does take you to a different biome. Now I'm not going to show you guys where it takes you in this video. I'll probably do that in a different video. But that is the third room with an active teleporter. Moving around to the other side of the base. We've got 3 different rooms again, and like the other side, the first and third room are mirror opposites of the other side. This one doesn't house a teleporter, but like I said, it's probably going to contain a teleporter of some, at some point whenever the devs decide to implement it. So that is the first room. Here is the second room. Now obviously this one isn't a pipe room, it is a little bit different. Now this is one of the only rooms that is untextured. They haven't really done much in this room yet, as you can see by the lighting and things like that. We've got some, looks like some tanks and, oh, Jesus Christ, don't scare me like that, dude. So we've got some tanks and things like that, but there's nothing in them and you can't scan them and things like that. But we do have a data terminal, so if we take a look at this, the Emperor Egg Hatching Project data. This device records all available physical data from a single point in time. The last recorded data set was captured just after quarantine was imposed on the facility. Specimen data. The main containment chamber here houses the Sea Emperor Leviathan and its eggs. The parent Leviathan... the parent Leviathan's health has deteriorated. Its eggs appeared to be in good condition, but in some form of natural stasis. Alien structures. The data shows that within the vast specimen containment unit, an incubation system had been constructed to house the Leviathan's eggs. Likely, the alien researchers had reinforced their efforts to develop a vaccine on the unborn infants. The incubation system suggests they had resorted to developing an artificial hatching enzyme which would simulate the natural hatching environment. When quarantine was imposed, all warp gates and access points to the facility were sealed. Analysis. While the unborn Emperor specimens may have held some potential for the development of the vaccine, it is highly unlikely the parent or children survived, having their food supply cut off and being isolated from the rest of the ecosystem. So obviously we know different. Obviously we know that the Emperor is still alive and she's still kicking and things like that. But at least this terminal gives us a little bit more insight to what the precursors were doing and things like that. So I thought that was quite an interesting little data terminal with this room. Like I said, not much going on in here yet, but it is untextured. So probably posting an updated video what happens in this room. So moving on to the last room, like I said before, it's just a mirror opposite of the other rooms. And like the last one on the other side, this one does contain a teleporter. It does. I don't know where it takes you. Like I said, I'll post that in a different video. But it does have a working teleporter that you need an ion crystal for. So that is the third room. Now the last room in this area is a little bit sneaky. If you guys can see the entrance there, directly above it you do have something that looks like a little bit of a teleporter, but if you come in it's not actually a teleporter, it is a completely different room. As you guys can see, it's quite an interesting room. We do have the eggs, so let's have a look at this and scan this. Leviathan egg casing. Okay, so shell composition. The shell casting is formed of thick layers of carbon composite, suggesting an extensive gestation period. This Leviathan species may give birth just once per century, perhaps just once in their lifetime. Shell casting incisions. Precise incisions suggest the laser-based tool was used to cut open the egg casting and forcibly remove the fetus inside prior to full gestation. Analysis. Time pressure to develop a bacterial vaccine may have driven the alien researchers to cut open the egg and remove the fetus for study. It is also possible that removed from its parent and natural habitat, some vital conditions for the infant to hatch naturally was not met. So basically, because, the virus was spreading and, the bacteria was spreading and things like that, they were pressed for time, so they had to forcibly remove it to try and see if they could replicate the enzyme to try and make a vaccine quicker than what the fetus was wanting to come out, basically. So it was forcibly removed due to the fact that it didn't have its vital conditions for it to naturally be hatched. So nothing else really in here. There is some other empty chambers, nothing down here. There's no data terminal or anything like that, but if they added one, I imagine it'd be around here somewhere. And then we've got another Leviathan egg that you can't scan. Quite interesting. And here there is meant to be a fetus. It used to be in here, it was floating about. But I think they've removed it. So dissected Leviathan fetus. Okay. Background: superficial damage to the specimen indicates it was forcibly removed from the egg casing, which we've just read. The fetus appears to have been terminated for dissection immediately on removal. So it was possibly alive when they removed it. So I suppose that's quite interesting that it was alive at some form, even if it wasn't fully developed. It was cryogenically preserved. Bacterial vaccine potential. Analysis of digestive system enzyme production indicates potential for a full vaccination against effects of alien bacterium. However, the fetus had not fully completed gestation. Internal organ development is insufficient for enzyme production. Analysis. A healthy infant specimen may be able to produce the enzymes necessary for a full vaccination against the bacterium. Given the specimen's potential, it is unlikely the alien researchers would have forcibly removed it prior to full development if they discovered any way to hatch it naturally. Recommended steps unclear. So what this is basically telling us is if they figured out how to naturally hatch it, they would have, rather than being absolute savages and taking it forcibly out of its shell. So it's quite interesting, but there it basically tells us that if we can get one of these, baby leviathans to grow naturally in its natural habitat, and without forcibly removing it and things like that, we can technically get the the enzyme that kills the bacteria. So that's kind of cool. Basically, it's a hint. All these little terminals and scans are hints of what we have to do, which is quite obvious if you follow the storyline. So that is the last room, probably one of the more interesting rooms that they've added. Like I said, it's nowhere near finished. There's going to be a lot of stuff added to this, especially the little dissected fetus there. So I thought that was kind of cool. So that is the room above the entrance to the prison, and that's basically all the rooms, guys. So the next thing is these 6 alien relics. Of course, there's 2 sets at each side, so there's 12 altogether. We're going to scan each one individually because they can all be individually scanned, and then we're going to take a look further on when we get to it. So we'll scan this side, scan that side, take a look at the data terminal, and then we'll move on to the next one. So here we have the sword. If you guys remember, I did show you all these in the previous video. Obviously we couldn't scan them then, but now we can. So we've got Alien Relic, an ancient earth blade dated back to the 13th century Mongolian Empire. Blood samples on the blade match the DNA of 7 separate heads of state from this period. Quite interesting. Alien Relic. Oh, no, that didn't scan. Oh, there we go. This carving is hundreds of thousands of years old and made from an unrecognised natural fibre, likely grown on an as yet undiscovered planet. That's a mouthful. On an as yet undiscovered planet. Jesus, that's a tongue twister. Basically, it's an unnatural fibre that was grown on a planet that's not been discovered yet, or at least by us anyway. So here's the one that looks like a gun. Quite modern gun, should I say. This weapon appears to be millions of years old and matches no previously encountered technologies. Well, it's millions of years old, but yeah, it looks like something that you could, that was made yesterday. There you go. Bit of lag, probably something loading in there. Ooh, that is quite a bit of lag. Jesus. Sorry about that, guys. This device is some form of communication relay, apparently projecting the presence of the user to a remote location. There do not seem to be any other devices in range. So the next one. This device is a rudimentary version of the keys used to access these facilities. It may have been kept here for symbolic purposes or legacy support. So this is a precursor key, basically. So that's kind of cool. This one, this is the empty one that we saw. Let's see what it says. This case is composed of an impregnable translucent metal at the distant end of the periodic table. Scans do not reveal any contents. Oh yeah, so this one actually is empty, but there was one at the other side as well that we'll need to take a look at. So this is the left-hand side, guys. Okay, guys, so we're at this side now. Obviously, we've just scanned the other side, and here we have a new set of 6 relics that we need to scan. So this rock-like material features biomechanical parts that match components identified in the warpers encountered on 4546B. Materials such as this may even have been a fundamental building block of the aliens' own self-repairing mechanisms. So this is kind of cool. This is quite a significant artifact, in all fairness. It's what the warpers use. Well, the technology used in the warpers, because obviously you guys know that the warpers... They're non-infectable, basically, and they were made by the precursors to kill everything that was infected. So that's kind of cool. Alien Relic. I imagine they're going to change the names of them instead of just saying Alien Relic, because it's a little bit annoying just seeing Alien Relic all the way down. I don't know, it could just be me. It is unclear why technology of this sophistication has not been found elsewhere on the planet. Its production may have been restricted or too costly, or even may have been pillaged from a more ancient civilization. Interesting. So basically, it's quite an advanced piece of technology, this. Don't know what it does, but it's advanced nonetheless. This alien device appears to be designed to eliminate all organic substances in range by emitting a lethal but contained radioactive field. Interesting. So you activate this and all the organic material just vaporizes, pretty much. So not too deadly then. Here is the other one that's empty. Wait, hang on a second. See, that's quite interesting because this one says Alien Reliquae. I can't say that. Reliquary, something like that. But this one says Alien Relics, so why can I scan this one again if it's also empty? This case contains highly sophisticated nanobots capable of infiltrating a foreign body and deconstructing it from the inside. Oh, well, so it's not empty then. There's just little guys in there that probably that quite literally want to rip us apart. Huh. Hello. No, nothing. Yeah. Well, that's cool, I suppose, but straight out there's no texture for him or whatever. Oh well. The markings on this device seem to serve no purpose beyond decoration. It may be the alien equivalent of a lamp or magnifying glass used to examine the other relics in more detail. There you go. Quite interesting. So, last one. Yep, last one. Despite its simple design, this device contains enough potential energy to destroy an entire planet and most of the solar system. Fortunately, it has malfunctioned. Now, when I saw this earlier, what I found quite interesting is this one's actually moving. Like, if you look closely, this one's moving, but none of the other relics move at all. And like some of them are, you know, like this one could quite easily move, but it doesn't. But this one's moving. I thought that was quite interesting. I don't know if that's significant, you know, if it says something or, you know, signifying that something can happen with it or what, but I just thought it was quite interesting that this was the only one that can move. So moving on to the data terminal, we'll be taking a look at the aquarium very soon. So we've just scanned all the relics, we've looked at all the buildings and everything like that. So this is the last piece of tech. Emperor Project Data. This device records data from the primary research specimen at this facility. According to the logs, an indigenous life form referred to as the Emperor specimen was found to produce a unique substance they referred to as Enzyme 42, which inhibited the symptoms of the infection in other indigenous organisms. The specimen was captured and contained here in addition to the eggs it was found guarding. The alien researchers went to great lengths to provide for the life form's environmental needs, including the import of independent flora and fauna via an on-site warp gate. However, its health quickly began to deteriorate at the time of the bacterial outbreak and result in quarantine. All attempts to develop the enzyme into a vaccine had been unsuccessful. So this basically says that the Emperor was contained here because they realised that it produced the cure in such, and it also had the eggs, which is quite interesting how many eggs it had, because I know there's 5 in the aquarium and then there was the 2 that we've just seen, so there was 7 eggs that it was guarding, even though it says that it can only, you know, in one of the previous terminals when we scanned the egg, it said that it could only like give birth like once in its lifetime maybe, so that was quite interesting. So nonetheless, that is all that is in the Precursor prison, like the first part so far. So I hope you guys enjoyed that little bit. So now we are on to the main event. So if you guys want to skip all this part, or if you've just joined us because you've skipped all this part, welcome. We are going to be taking a look at the primary part of the prison. So let's go. Okay guys, so this is the second part. Obviously there is a door here that you will eventually need a key to access. Obviously they've not implemented that yet. I've just gained access through commands, but you probably will need a key to access this part of the prison. Now there is a little dialogue that does pop up, but unfortunately it's just popped up for me when I weren't recording. But if we go on it and have a look, it says translating local alien broadcast, warning, vaccine development program terminated, Emperor egg hatching project terminated, live specimens terminated, evacuate immediately. I think that's meant to say live specimens, not lives specimens. I think. I could be wrong. But I don't know. But that's what it says as soon as you walk through here. Anyway, it does come up as a little dialogue. Like I said, I did miss that as I was walking through. I wasn't recording. But here we have the second part of the prison. Looks absolutely fantastic. Nothing in here at all to scan or do. There is. Oh, it's loading everything in. There is a little teleporter up there, but I will be talking about that a little bit later on. And here is the main event. We've got the aquarium down below. So there it is. Now, what is quite interesting though about this, obviously this, you know, the broadcast, is that it does say, like I said, live specimens terminated. Now we know for a fact that that's not, you know, that's not happened because the Sea Emperor is still alive. So obviously maybe something malfunctioned to stop the Emperor dying, or maybe it's, you know, it can't die. This is why it's still alive, and the, you know, the precursors didn't know it. I don't know, but I thought that was kind of cool. So if we jump down here now. Obviously, we've got the platform, and as soon as you swim down here, if I'm not mistaken, there he is, look. Well, I should say she. We do have the gorgeous, fantastic Sea Emperor. There he is, look. Fantastic. He just looks absolutely amazing, doesn't he? Hello, how you doing? He's not bothered. He's been through too much. He really don't give a fuck. But you are meant to be able to telepathically talk to him, or she. I'm going to call it a he for now. But that hasn't been implemented yet, so that is something to bear in mind. But just look how fantastic he looks. Looks absolutely phenomenal. Now, if you come down, the lighting should fix itself. It doesn't do anything. He pretty much just, you know, just swims in a circle. You can't scan him or anything like that at the moment, but you know, he just looks absolutely fantastic. Well, guy. But as you guys can see, here is the aquarium. I'll come down there a little bit later on, but the aquarium has now been finished. I don't think they're going to do much more with this. We do have the iron crystals over here with the pillars and things like that. Not sure whether they've got a purpose or whether it's just there for decoration or lighting. I don't know. But here is the aquarium. So let's take a look down here, because obviously before there was just a platform. But as you guys can see, we do have 5 Leviathan eggs. So we are going to be taking a look at these. So making our way down, and let's turn the turn that back on. There we go, because we can scan these. So Sea Emperor Leviathan Egg. So if we scan these and take a look, it says shell, because it's down in stages. Uncommonly strong shell lining, organic growth on the exterior suggests these eggs may have been hundreds of years old. So obviously the hatching conditions haven't been met, so these guys haven't hatched yet. So, alien tubes. Alien devices penetrate the outer shell layer, likely designed to supply them with nutrients and to isolate them from the surrounding environment. So basically to stop them moving and to make sure that these guys grow in an artificial environment. Number 3, amniotic sac. Unlike most other eggs where the nutrient supply is slowly exhausted by the embryo, these eggs exist in a form of natural stasis, like awaiting ideal hatching conditions. So these guys haven't been hatched yet or anything like that. So, number 4, fetal organism. There is a high genetic match between these organisms and the Leviathan in this vicinity. They appear to be stable and healthy. So, obviously these eggs are very healthy. They're just in a state of stasis, which is quite cool. And then at bottom, it is likely that ideal hatching conditions vary considerably from ideal conditions for survival of the parent. The local ecosystem appears to have prioritised the latter. So basically what I think that means is that this environment suits the Sea Emperor and not the eggs, which is why they've not hatched yet. So we maybe need to do something to make them hatch, which would make sense because it's the entire storyline. So if we take a look at this guy, when you do float down here, I forgot to mention, this guy does come and take a look at you. He does stop. There you go. He's a little bit glitchy. But eventually, he does plop himself down, and he looks at you and judges every single thing that you are doing. But nonetheless, he looks absolutely cool. The animations are pretty much fine for him. Like I said, it was just a little bit stuttering, a little bit, glitched. But nonetheless, he looks at you and makes sure that you don't. He don't want you to do anything bad. So here we have the eggs. Let's scan the base, because you can scan this. So this alien device is some form of incubator attached intravenously to the Leviathan's eggs, allowing nutrients to be fed in, which is what I'm guessing these little things are meant to be. So that's kind of cool. He's just sitting there judging me. Like I said, I'm guessing eventually he is meant to talk to you while you're doing this sort of stuff, but for now he's just looking at you, judging you. Okay. So if we use it, because we can use the incubator. Oh god. There we go. Scanner room, speed upgrade, I'm guessing that's just a glitch. And then we do have hatching enzymes, and then it says mysterious enzymes with a creepvine sample of 3. So it's probably just a placeholder recipe for now. But if you do click this, and you make your way back, and I just stand here, get rid of the hood, eventually they'll make a weird, crazy loud noise. There it is, and these eggs hatch. As you guys can see, now at the moment these guys are glitched. I don't know if they're actually going to spawn in. Yep, there they are. That is, yeah. Yeah. They don't actually work at the moment. Obviously there's no animation or anything like that for these guys, but they do hatch, and that's as far as this like storyline goes at the moment, obviously until the devs update it. But here at the top we do have a teleporter. And this teleporter is what you're meant to activate, because this teleport, I think it's this one anyway. This one takes you to... That's quite interesting. They're actually following me. I wonder if they actually do work. I might have to look at that in a bit. But basically, you activate this teleporter. Oh, Jesus, that scared the shit out of me. And this one... Oh, he's off again. And this one takes you up to the top where where you can just basically exit the aquarium really quickly rather than swimming to the surface. So that is kind of cool. Yeah, like I said, these guys at the moment are like really glitchy. Like they can go really fast, and whoa, Jesus, there. A little bit glitchy. So these guys don't work yet, but eventually they will. So for now, guys, this is as far as they have got with the prison. Obviously, any more updates I'll post for you guys. But this is the prison. Fantastic, looks amazing. These guys just absolutely going crazy. Hello. Now, I wonder if, in fact, before we end it on this part, I wonder if I can use that, and I wonder if I can actually catch him. No, I don't want you. Oops. Oh, he's dead. Oh no, he's not dead. I need to... I don't think I'll ever be able to catch them, let's be honest. Oh, come here. No, I don't think... Oh. It's making a noise as though I can capture it, but nothing's... I know I can capture them. Go away. No. No, I don't think I can. Oh well, doesn't matter anyway. So, that is the prison, guys. Like I said, I'll show you the other updates in a second. But for now, this is as far as they've got. So, there he is, just coming back down for another look. So, there we go, guys. There's the prison. So, the next change is the addition to another precursor cache that has been added. Excuse me. Yeah. Is the precursor cache that has been added to the Ghost Forest. If you look and you find this little fountain or waterfall, whatever you want to call it, and you come behind it, we've got another water to air bubble, whatever you call those things, and now we have a new cache location. I really don't like the weeds. I'm not a fan of that. The moss, it's a little bit outplaced in my opinion, but nonetheless we do have the location. Not actually much in it at the moment. We've just got one of these trees, and it's a little bit misty and things like that, but there's nothing in here that you can pick up or anything like that. But if you make your way round here, it does lead you eventually up to this point where you guys can see a big massive place. Now obviously there's going to be some sort of teleporter and maybe a data bank here or something like that, or maybe another monument area. I'm not quite sure. By the size of it, I'd imagine that it's going to be a teleporter to maybe the prison or something like that. I'm not quite sure, but nonetheless this is the location of another precursor cache. And the last change is the fantastic lovely Ghost Leviathan has been updated. updated. His animations for his tail have been updated. As you guys can see, it's a lot more fluid and smooth. It looks really, really cool. And he's also had his size increased. Not quite sure what percentage. It does look really, really long. It's probably about maybe double his last one, but nonetheless, he's looking fantastic as ever. And yeah, so they've updated the animations on him. He looks a little bit more fluid. Still probably some work that needs doing, but oh, that were really cool. If that were all clipped and that actually went through the eye of that, then that'd have been really, really cool. So, but yeah, they've changed him. They've made him bigger. They've changed his animations. They do need to add the sound effects, though. I don't think they're all implemented yet, and some of them are really, really quiet. But at least he's finally coming along. So, guys, that's going to be it for this update. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Like I said before, I'm going to do more of these videos as they pump new content out. I'm not going to spam videos on it. I'm just going to wait till they've finished uploading and updating the experimental, and then I'll do one big video on all of the major changes. Like I said, these are major changes. I'm not going to cover the little things, just all the major changes. I'm not going to do any bug fixes or anything like that. So like I said, thank you guys so much for watching. Me and Ghosty will hopefully catch you in the next video. Take care.